Here's something almost every change initiative gets backwards. Leaders assume the biggest obstacle is a bad plan. Wrong dashboard, wrong timeline, wrong comms cadence. But the plan usually isn't the problem. What's happening in people's heads before they even read it, that's the problem. Every one of us is wired to treat change as a threat. Positive intelligence is the mental fitness framework built by Shazad Shamin. He's got a useful name for what's going on here. Our minds run on protective, self-critical patterns. He calls them saboteurs. And a calmer, more resourceful mode he calls the sage. Change initiatives, or change themselves, activates the saboteurs. Your team isn't broken. That's just a survival instinct doing its job. Here's the part that matters if you're the one leading the department through it. This stuff spreads. One person's hesitation becomes a team's caution. A team's caution becomes an organization's inertia. Shamin calls it a saboteur contagion. The good news? The opposite spreads just as fast. Confidence, curiosity, shared ownership. Built for it, and you get a sage contagion moving through your team instead. If you've led a reorg, a new reporting system, a service redesign, anything that touches how people already do their jobs, you know the pattern. Strong kickoff, real energy in week 1, then somewhere around month 2 or 3, the wheels start to wobble. That's not because your team doesn't care. Most change plans jump straight to what's changing and never build the case for why it's worth it, for the group and for each person in it. There's a 5-move sequence that fixes this. It draws on 2 frameworks we coach with at Spaciousness Works. Positive intelligence explains why people resist and how to build the mental fitness to move through it. Appreciative Inquiry gives you a process for building change around what's already strong instead of what's broken. Today, I'll walk you through all 5 moves at a high level. Then over the next 5 episodes, we're going to go deep on each one with tools you can use in your next rollout. Move 1. Discover the vision people can feel, not just read. Bullet points inform. They really inspire anybody. The first move is building a collective picture of the future, vivid enough that your team feels it before they've finished analyzing it. In Appreciative Inquiry, this is the dream phase. It starts by discovering what's already working, not by cataloging what's broken. In PQ terms, you're activating the sage power of explore, getting curious about possibility before jumping into logistics. Move 2. Connect the collective why to each person's bigger why. A departmental level vision doesn't move anyone until it lands somewhere personal. So how do you make that connection? This move is about helping each person trace the line from this initiative to the reason I do this work at all. Positive intelligence calls this empathize, meeting people, including yourself, with the same understanding you'd offer a friend, rather than judgment. Skip it and you'll get compliance. Do it well. You get people who actually own the change. Move 3. Build a roadmap sized for confidence, not overwhelm. A 52-week roadmap overwhelms more than it inspires. This move keeps your team focused on the next 2 months, not the next 12, so the path feels walkable and early wins are actually visible. It's Appreciative Inquiry's design phase, paired with the sage power of navigate, staying grounded and value aligned as you chart the near-term path. Move 4. Build the flywheel. Let small wins compound. Momentum isn't automatic. You build it one visible win at a time, each one making the next a little easier to sell. This is where the change strength index domain comes in, system assets and change navigation capacity. That's the infrastructure that lets small wins actually stick and spread. PQ's term for the driving force here is activate, taking decisive, value-aligned action instead of waiting around for perfect conditions. Right, move 5. Expect 3 different paces of adoption and plan for all 3. Not everybody moves at the same speed. That's not a problem to fix. It's a pattern to work with. Some people will run ahead. Most will wait and watch. A few won't come along at all. PQ's innovate power is what turns your early adopters into the storytellers who spread a sage contagion to everyone else. The move here is knowing who's who and putting your energy where it actually pays off. Why not just pick one framework? Positive intelligence gets specific about what's actually happening. It names exactly which mental pattern gets triggered when change lands and gives leaders and teams a way to build the mental fitness to move through it instead of getting stuck. Appreciative Inquiry gives you the process for what to do with that awareness, a structured way to build the change itself around your team's existing strengths, not starting from what's broken. Put simply, PQ tells you what's happening in the room. Appreciative Inquiry tells you what to do about it. Used together, you get the inner shift from saboteur to sage and the outer process that channels that shift into a change program people actually help design. Over the next 5 episodes, we'll take each of those moves and go deep, starting with how to run a discovery conversation that surfaces a vision your team actually feels, not just reads off a slide. If you're in the middle of a change initiative right now, don't wait for the series to finish. Start with the move where your team is stuck. My guess, it's usually move 2 or move 5, the personal why or the adoptive curve. Tell me in the comments which one's biting you right now, and I'll prioritize that episode next. Don't forget to take our Change Strength Index and subscribe so you don't miss the series. See you in the next one.